Hi, welcome to this tutorial in which we're going to have a look at mathematics Olympiad type questions that involve the rules of indices or exponents. Okay, if you'd like to pause, have a go at question 1 and then come back and see if you've got the correct answer or the correct method, or you've used a different method. You can see something different as well, hopefully from me. I've written one rule down for you that may be useful. It'll help you. No calculators are allowed. Have a go and then come back. I'm going to start it now. Okay? Right. It says 10 to the power of x equals 1 5/8 and 10 to the power of y equals 8/13. Find the exact value of 10 to the power of x plus y. Well, if we think about the rules of indices, if the base is the same, we add the powers. So here it looks like a is 10, m is x, and y is n. So this must have come from 10 to the power of x times 10 to the power of y. Remember, the base has to be the same. Okay? All I have to do now is substitute 1 5/8 for 10 to the power of x and 8/13 for 10 to the power of y. To multiply these two fractions, we need to change the first one, the mixed number, to an improper fraction or a top-heavy fraction. And 1 unit is how many eighths? It's 8 eighths. There are 5 more eighths to consider, so that's a total of 13. Is 1 5/8 times 8/13, which is quite nice. You can see now that this 8 will cancel with that 8, this 13 will cancel with that 13. To leave you the top, 1 times 1 is 1, denominator 1 times 1 is 1, so the answer is 1, and the correct option is E. I have no doubt you managed that quite easily. Okay, and don't worry if you didn't. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just gaining experience in doing this type of questions. You may have used a different method, I don't know. Show it to somebody. Okay? The next one, no answers given on purpose. Pause, have a go, and then come back and see how I've done it. There are 2 different ways that I know of doing this. Okay, we're told that a squared, b, is 10, and that ab squared is 20. Now I know you can do this by substitution, but the best way forward, in my opinion, is to look at the answer. It's a over b, and you can see that I've got a squared, if you like, divided by a will give me an a. There are more a's at the top being multiplied by each other than in the denominator. There's only one a. And in the numerator there's one b, but there are 2 b's being multiplied by each other denominator. So the direction then, or the implication is that I should divide these 2 by each other. So divide the left-hand side and divide the right-hand side. Okay? Now you can see the numerator on the left-hand side is a times b, and the denominator is a times b times b. So hopefully now you can see what I was talking about, more a's at the top. That a will cancel with this one, and that b will cancel with this one, to leave us in the numerator, well, let's put that equal to 10/20. To leave us in the numerator, a times 1 times 1 is a, denominator 1 times b is 10/20. And it's a half. 10/20 is a half. If it was a multiple choice, they may give you an option of 0.5, and then you write it down, or 50% or anything like that. Well, I hope you managed that one. The next one, a bit more challenging, but to help you, I've put down a rule to give you a clue. 5 answers given to choose from. Okay, pause and have a go, And don't be too concerned if you couldn't do it, okay? Because at the beginning with Olympiad type questions it takes time to get to know the techniques that you need to use. The more practice or the more exposure you get, the better you'll become and more confident. The confidence is important, of course. So pause, have a go, and come back. I'm going to start it now. It says if a is 1 plus 2 to the power of n, and b is 1 plus 2 to the negative n, then b equals one of these expressions, and you can see there's no n in the answers. We're trying to find b in terms of a. So I'm going to start with the b that I want to find. It's 1 plus 2 to the negative n. Then I'll use the rule which I've written down. A to the negative n is 1 over a to the n, so this becomes 1 plus 1 over 2 to the power of n. I'll call that equation 1. Then I'll come back to the a equals 1 plus 2 to the n, and I'll subtract 1 from each side to get 2 to the n. The idea is to replace this 2 to the n by a minus 1. So I can now say from 1, b equals to 1 plus 1 over a minus 1. Now, for some people this may be a little bit more challenging. The 1, we need to write these two and to say with the same denominator. So I'm going to change that 1 and write a minus 1 over a minus 1. Assuming a is not 1, then it's acceptable to do that. Plus 1 over a minus 1. Now if the denominator is the same, we can add them together. We can add the numerator and the denominator stays the same. So that's what you get. Of course, negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So what are we left with? We're left with b equals to a over a minus 1. That would be the answer, and the correct option to choose is in fact B. Okay? I don't know if you managed that, but that's much more challenging than the others. And there is another way of doing it. Then I decided to give you a question like number 2 to try. I've given you the answer. I'm not going to go through that. You can try using the technique I used in number 2. You're given that a squared b cubed is 15 and a cubed b squared is 60. Show that b over a is equal to 0.25. Have a go at it and see if you can get that answer. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful. On to the next one. Take care.